Death is something that comes for us all, but the fate of those who seek glory is far beyond something that death can merely grant. They say that legends live on, but what happens when your grand sacrifice goes unnoticed by the world?
Even I fear being forgotten.
Iuno, the priestess of Septimon, played a pivotal role in overcoming the calamity that almost overtook the city of Septimon. As the divine priestess, she is capable of discerning the future, but what's even scarier than that fact is the fact that the future that is foretold in her visions have a 100% success rate of occurring. And what she saw was the end of humanity. The dark tide would swallow Septimon, every gladiator would be killed, every citizen would be killed, Augusta would be killed, and even Iuno would be killed. How could Iuno stand there and watch as her vision turns into a reality? The reality she cannot change. Unless. Iuno knew that the end was inevitable, but there was one singular way that she could save Septimon and save Augusta, by becoming the anchor to the dark tide and holding it in place. Augusta and Rover would be able to stake their lives on this battlefield that Iuno created, and with their combined efforts, they would claim the title of Heroes and save Septimon from the dark tide. A climactic fight, a seamless victory, Septimon is saved, and there were no sacrifices. At least, no sacrifices that anyone would care about. With the battle won, Rover finds himself enjoying a victory celebration. He is crowned the Rose Bearer, someone to bestow petals to each of the allies who participated in the hunt. A great honor, and he is the first to become one from outside of Septimon. As he receives this great honor, the bearer of that news has some interesting details about the battle to share.
You are our first non-local Rose Bearer, but I believe you were already chosen the moment you cut through the dark tide's miasma. Without you, the Sovereign's defeat would not have been possible.
Well, he wasn't there, so he must be mistaken. But nonetheless, Rover is excited to complete his role as the Rose Bearer, and that he does, handing out petals to people in the encampment. As he approaches the priestess tent, they share a story. A story about the events that had happened a mere day ago. The same events that Rover participated in.
With the Chorosaurus as bait, he cut through the dark tide's miasma to reveal the truth. With the false Sovereign's blood, a new ruler was crowned. The prophesied end was averted, thanks to Augusta and the Unwritten One.
That's odd. It's a simple misunderstanding, though. Iuno, as pretentious as she is, would be livid if she realizes that everyone thought that Rover was responsible for holding down the dark tide. It's fine, though. As much as Rover would love to take credit, he steps forward to clear up some misconceptions.
You speak of me and Augusta, but what of Iuno?
Who is Iuno?
The entire encampment must be playing games with Rover, and they all thought that it was ingenious to hide Iuno's whereabouts and convince him that she didn't exist. Even this old-timer tells Rover that he was messing around with the dark tide stank for a bit too long and is just seeing delusions. But luckily for Rover, Augusta has returned. As funny as it is to keep this prank going, Augusta, the F4 of Septimon, the heroes of heroes, she would not pretend to forget the very soul that saved her entire country, even if it was an elaborate prank. Right?
Iuno.
Yes, she was often by your side. The one with the bow like the moon. She joined our hunt for the Sovereign.
Everyone has forgotten. No, that's not it. Everyone says they've never even seen her before. But you remember her. You remember everything that happened. You are certain she is real, and cannot exist in your memories alone. I know what you're feeling, because I felt it too. The dark tide's frequencies twisted my perception as well. Made me see things that weren't real. The Sovereign's whispers dogged me for decades, tempting me to accept its gift.
It's as if Iuno never existed. All of the events that she did during the Great Battle is chalked up to being Rover's actions. He has the glory of those achievements, but those achievements were not something that he ever partook in. Surely, there has to be at least some trace of Iuno. There is no way that she could just disappear from the entire world, right?
This bracelet belongs to Iuno.
Quite the unique design. Like a crescent moon. But still, I'm sorry. I wish I could offer you the answer you seek, but to me, it's just an ordinary bracelet. Nothing about it stands out.
Not even this bracelet, clearly resembling the moon, clearly resembling an item that Iuno would possess, rings a bell in the eyes of Augusta. Iuno, who is this girl you speak of? Her partner? Her friend? Her ally? Forgotten. Just like that. The gift that Iuno left Rover, the bracelet, is the only thing that represents Iuno's existence, even if Rover is the only entity that remembers her. And with that strong will to find Iuno, the bracelet reacts, and the remnants of Iuno reveal themselves. But these remnants are fading, like the moon. Rover quickly follows this path, and he is led to a moonlit sky under a tree. And that's where he sees Iuno. Alive and well, or so he thought.
Iuno.
Of course. Only you would be the exception.
So, you've known this all along?
A death that shouldn't have happened. Traded for an unforetold victory. A fair deal. Now... I am but a fading sliver of moonlight. I'm sorry, but... even I fear being... forgotten.
And just like that, like a fading moonlight, Iuno was gone. No one would mourn her, no one would care that she was gone, no one would even notice that she was gone. A fate worse than death, to be forgotten. This tore at Rover's heart. He stood there and stared into the distance. What just happened to Iuno? It's like Iuno never existed. How can that be? Even Abby came out to check on Rover, with how long he had just been standing there in disbelief.
Hey, Rover. You're alright. You've been standing here for ages. So, Iuno's really gone. Just like that. Well, duh. Even though I was snoozing on and off, I still remember everything that went down. Crystal clear.
At least Abby remembers. That one line, even I fear being forgotten, really stood out to Rover. He could just continue, let things be. She made a sacrifice and everyone was saved. Augusta wouldn't have to even know that Iuno was no more, so she would be saved from the emotional scars of that battle. It would be up to Rover to remember Iuno, even though no one else did.
I don't care if Iuno foresaw her fate and chose this path for herself.
But Rover doesn't care. Iuno meticulously plotted to be forgotten. Iuno's perfect plan to save Septimont, Iuno's desire to be erased. While saving Augusta and the citizens of Septimont, it was all worth it to Iuno. But Rover does not care.
All I know is I won't let it end like this. Not with her fading into oblivion.
He alone would make things right. He would not fail Iuno like he had failed Prologue, to be lost in the oblivion. To get to the bottom of Iuno's disappearance, Rover needed to find Lilibet, the head priestess. Surely she would know something about Iuno, a clue, anything that would help get her back. Rover followed the path through the temple, but it's actually quite strange that it's completely empty. Nonetheless, we follow the energy coming from the bracelet that Iuno had, and it's taking us through a little pathway through the temple. And through this pathway, we see that this energy is taking the form of illustrations of Iuno, but those murals are being overwritten. It's as if Iuno was truly being erased from this world. The deeper we go into this hidden route, the closer we get to the man who was slowly being driven insane, Avidius. As the audience, we know that Avidius is not a normal human. He is a fabrication that was made from Cristoforo, and Iuno noticed almost immediately that something was wrong with him. Avidius was written into the story to be a true hero, the one to replace Augusta, the one to overcome the dark tide, but he failed at both of those tasks. He began to search his memories, and he would slowly begin to realize that his very existence is a fabrication. Rover finds Avidius on the brink of insanity as he slowly pieces together his role in this world.
Until the day I led the charge to Murmurstown. Determined to stop my comrades from falling to the dark tide and prove I had what it took to be king, I walked to the door I had passed 1,000 times, only to find a dead end. Nothing was ever there. Did I even come here before? When did I conquer this place, and with whom? At that moment, I realized so much was blank. Disconnected dots, scattered and meaningless. How pitiful. Everyone knows my deeds, yet no one can explain how. And I can't find a single soul who's actually witnessed my so-called exploits. So I tore through my memories until I saw a hand holding a feathered quill. It wrote everything about me from the moment I was born. And I realized an undeniable truth. Existence is anchored in connection, feeling, and memory. They are its very manifestation. So if someone uses their resonance ability to fabricate a memory of the hero of heroes everyone expects and convinces them it's real, does such a fabricated person really exist? And what of you? The one they call the unwritten one. An undefined, unknowable void that can anchor unimaginable connections. Imagine the existence that could emerge.
But this conversation is abruptly brought to an end by Lilibet, interrupting the two.
Enough, you arrogant fool. I did not allow you to stay here so you could defile fate with your delusions.
As she guides us back to the temple, we can finally have a conversation with the head priestess. Surely, she could tell us something about Iuno. There has to be some evidence that Iuno existed, or some way to link her back to this world. How would she even have erased her existence? Well,
Because I did find a record of a priestess named Iuno. But according to the record, she died 3 years ago. Buried where the dark tide swallowed the spring basin.
Lilibet and Rover strike up a plan, or more so, Rover asks Lilibet how to risk his own existence to potentially save Iuno. You see, Iuno doesn't exist in this world anymore, but what does exist is a record of Iuno saying that she died in the dark tide 3 years ago. That's how she was written into this world, as a consequence of her actions against the dark tide before. She had used all of her essence in order to make a boundary for the dark tide so that Augusta and Rover would be able to take down the false sovereign. Rover is the only anchor holding Iuno's existence in this world. along with this bracelet. And Iuno has an existence, but it's being held in the realm of chaos. A realm that is filled with the experiences and feelings of others, shredded, scattered, and thrown asunder. That is chaos, and Rover has to find Iuno inside of it. The only way to save Iuno is to enter into that chaos at the very spot where Iuno had died before, 3 years prior. But that's just a crazy idea. There's no way that Rover can do it or even try to. It's suicide. It's like stepping directly into a black hole and hoping to actually escape the event horizon. But Rover...
If there were any doubt, now I'm sure.
If you end up lost in the chaos,
Wait,
you risk losing everything that you are. But remember, Rover doesn't care. As Rover steps forward, he would bring Iuno back no matter the cost. As he listens to Lilibet's final advice, he sinks into what is known as chaos, and it is not kind.
Countless possibilities, both true and not true. This is chaos. Until every anchor is revealed, laid bare in the light.
As Rover recovers from sinking into the unknown world, not sure where to go, he moves forward, and Iuno is right there, surrounded by shadows representing the tacit discords. He easily swipes them away and is able to finally reunite with Iuno, but...
Iuno, you're calling me. Are you here for me? Why would someone be looking for me?
She looks the same as she did when she faded away. A sliver of moonlight. How long has she been lost in this chaos?
Just how long had Iuno been here? She'd forgotten who Rover even is, but one thing stood out. He was the Unwritten, and that's the name that stuck with her. With the bracelet in hand, Rover took Iuno's hand, and he would become her anchor. The plan was working. Maybe Rover could save Iuno.
She responded to me. Now, she's guiding me. Even if it's just a trace of her, I found her. Now that fragile rope connecting her, me, and the world is already in my hands.
Rover and Iuno walk through the unknown area, and each step that they took is met with pieces of Iuno's past. They would eventually come upon a blacksmith who looks a little out of place.
Ah, there you are. I've been waiting for you, Iuno.
The blacksmith had been tasked to make the very same bow that Iuno had used to vanquish the Dark Tide. A bow crafted from Lunarum Bough. A bow that Iuno would surely need. He is, of course, missing the Lunarum Bough to make the bow, so it's up to us to find it. With the blacksmith's insightful word, Iuno and Rover move forward, and they eventually find the exact same material that the blacksmith was talking about. The Lunarum Bough, or what looks like the stump of a tree. As Iuno and Rover rest on this Lunarum Bough, a piece of Iuno's past, a piece that Iuno was able to recover, is finally being flooded into the memories of both Iuno and Rover. Iuno's past, the past of a prodigy who could do everything.
Don't bore me this quickly. Show me what other tricks you've got up your sleeve. Victory? That's the only befitting outcome. Now spare me the words. I know I'll be first. This is only the beginning. Soon, I'll be an even greater warrior than Mother ever was. Getting whatever she wants, doing whatever she sets her mind to. Are you talking about me? Very well, I'll prove you right. Prodigy, you say? If you want to call me that, I'll gladly take it. But why are you so certain that who you see is me? That was...
She saw something that she shouldn't have, or rather, something she was meant to see. Because Iuno's gift of future sight is not something that she could turn off or on. She can see anyone's fate. But what's the point of seeing fate, good or bad, if you can't change it? With this revelation of Iuno's past, the Lunarum Bough is slightly restored. It seems that the anchoring is actually working, and Rover will be able to recover Iuno in time.
Exactly. After manifestation, this is how I can absorb more. Only then can I find a more complete me.
Now that they've rested, they can finally move forward. Rover and Iuno continue, hand in hand, Rover anchoring Iuno's existence and guiding her to recover all of herself. 2 doors appeared in front of them. Will they follow the foretold fate? Or would they ignore the foretold fate? Of course, we know that fate cannot be altered, so we would choose the former, and we were met by a group of people who wanted their fortune to be told. But before then, Iuno must read Rover's fortune.
What? I see a void? I can't see your past. I can't see your present and your future. How can this be? The unwritten one. Why is that familiar?
Who exactly are you?
You? Why are you here? Isn't this Aeterna Square? Did something happen in Septimont? Is it Augusta or the others? No, that's impossible. I should have disappeared by now. Why do I feel so tired? Like I'm walking the same path over and over again without end. Why do I see so many memories from the past? My mother, the other priestesses, and you. You've done something for me, haven't you?
Yes. We're in the chaos now.
But you shouldn't be here. Neither should I. Why haven't I disappeared completely?
Why did you sacrifice yourself? Why did you just leave without a word? Was this really the outcome the most gifted priestess chose for herself?
Because this was the best I could do for Septimont. Destruction. Failure. Oblivion. The dark tide devours everything you can imagine. The Griffons can't escape it. The gladiators can't defeat it. In the blink of an eye, before we could even react, it had already enveloped everything. I knew it from the start. I knew 3 years ago I would turn everything I am into the moon arrow that would pin down the Sovereign. I just didn't know when that day would come, or if it would be enough. I finally understand. My defiance, my sacrilege. It was all worth it. Now I found the answer.
Whether it's because of the void I carry, or whatever else it may be, I still remember you. Your place in this world isn't over yet. I'm taking you out of this realm of chaos.
You... It seems like I missed something. Something I didn't foresee. So the unwritten one from the future isn't happy with the ending I've changed and wants to rewrite it. The battle's still undecided. The war isn't finished yet. Is that it?
Yes. You traded your existence to alter the prophecy. But I'll anchor your existence and rewrite your ending. If I've ever guided you before, Then now, let me guide you one more time.
Really? I'll entrust myself to you then. But be careful. Don't get lost in the chaos. And I shall put my best foot forward as well. We shall meet at the very end.
Wait. Am I Iuno now?
Having taken over Iuno's body, Rover can finally experience exactly what Iuno goes through on a regular basis. The ability to see the future, but the inability to change its actions. Through her body, he would actually act as a fortune teller, except her fortunes are 100% true. The gladiator, Harlius. He is set to fight a beast that came from the dark tide. He offers up his items so that Iuno can tell him. Will his hunt be successful? And through the powers of Iuno's future sight, she sees it is a success. As for what she told him,
the beast falls, and we are cheering. Its eye is pierced by a spear. Its horn is broken. So, that's its weak spot. Is that the key to our victory? Thank you, Priestess Iuno. Your words put my mind at ease.
but is this really the end of that story? At the end of the day, it hardly matters. Their fate is set in stone. Samara, a girl who is love-struck, approaches with a lovely bracelet to commemorate her love for her lover. Will this newly found couple grow old together and live in happiness? Iuno sees their fate, and it's grim. They are broken up with a child crying in the background, and no more than 5 or 6 years have passed. Surely this is something that she should warn the girl about, but what if the act of revealing that fortune then solidifies the results? With that realization, Iuno tells her to focus on the present. How can she bring herself to damn her current love when things are going perfectly? What right does she have to interrupt their present happiness? But at the end of the day, their fate is already set in stone. Nicholas has already had his fate foretold, or rather, his brother's. He knew that his brother would die in the next battle, but his own fate had yet to be seen. You see, Nicholas and his brother are twins, completely identical in the eyes of fate, or so he presumed. Perhaps he can trick fate and save his brother by acting in his place because he knows that he will live until he's at least 60. Surely, this trick would work. Iuno sees that he lives a long life and indeed dies in his 60s. He dies smiling, but this doesn't mean that he hadn't already lost his brother. So what should Iuno do? Give Nicholas hope or tell him exactly what she sees?
Well, we were born identical, after all. I know him well. If I wanted to imitate him, even our parents wouldn't be able to tell us apart. But fate, what would it do? You've shown me my end. I will live to become an old man. That means this summer, I won't die. What if I take Kyrion's place in the battle, and he plays the part of Nicholas, sailing across the seas? I'll confuse the whole world, even fate itself. Let me try. I'll use fate's prophecy to overturn another, and trick death with the undying.
Either way, it doesn't matter, because Nicholas and Nicholas's brother, their fates are already set in stone. Mia approaches last, and she has a bottle containing the very girl's tears. Her grandpa had made her a promise. Hold on to your tears in this bottle, and one day, when the tears dry up, we'll be able to see each other.
He made me promise that if he ever wasn't here anymore, I'd put all my tears in this bottle. One day, when the tears dry up, we'll see each other again. So, I don't cry anymore. I'm worried it'll take a really, really long time to see him again. Just how long exactly? What will Grandpa look like then?
But this is a harsh truth. Mia's grandpa is dead, and she had been waiting for him. Iuno realizes how hard this is to accept, and perhaps the kid needs to know this truth.
I don't believe it! I don't believe Grandpa didn't lie to me! Grandpa wouldn't lie to me! I must have given you the wrong thing! Or maybe you're just not as powerful as they say you are!
Even if she had lied to the kid's face and told him that it did matter, he would reunite as soon as the tears in the bottle had dried up, her fate was set in stone. All of these fortunes, all of these prophecies that Iuno provided, they surely played out. And it didn't matter what she told them, how she said it, or if she had even warned them, the outcome remained the same. Harlulus and his comrades slayed that tacit discord alright, but they had been trapped and unable to escape the carnage that ensued afterwards. They would die here, just as fate predicted. Samara would go on to love this man, and they would have a child together. And that man would abandon Samara and the child, leaving them destitute alone, just as fate predicted. Nicholas would try to trick fate and take his brother's place in battle, yet his brother would die at sea to a random tacit discord attack regardless. And Nicholas would suffer a grave injury from that battle, and now he exists as a living corpse, paralyzed, and his brother died anyway, just as fate predicted. Even Mia.
Bottle have dried, and I'm not that little girl anymore.
Just as fate predicted, Mia's tears dried up, and her grandfather never showed up.
Let's rest here. One more time. Anchor these memories and connections. Make them a part of you.
I can see further than anyone else. I can see things no one else can. I've seen things others can't begin to imagine. So why at the moment I should have seen the clearest, did I close my eyes and shut it out? I was so close. If I hadn't closed my eyes, I would have learned the causal chain and I could have stopped it. After that, I decided to keep my eyes wide open, no matter the cost. I'll sit at the crossroads of fate. I'll stare into what's to come and not flinch, be it joyful, tragic, rebirth, destruction. Until I see it all. Until I know everything. Because I am stronger than anyone else. This is something only I can do.
The causal chain, a way to undo fate, but even if you find it, won't fate always have the last say? The Lunarum bough grows once more as a piece of Iuno is found, and Iuno is becoming more and more like herself. Fate is fickle, and Iuno has no way to control it. Is seeing the future a blessing, or is it rather a curse? A curse that she is forced to have. There is no point in seeing what you cannot change. You will have to live your life in agony as you contemplate just how things will all end. Iuno has lived her life in the shadow of fate for her entire existence. If fate is preordained, then maybe it's best that we just give up and let fate do its thing. But Augusta, the very person that Iuno gave her existence to save, may have the answer that Iuno seeks.
Still giving prophecies, Iuno. Truth be told, I didn't think much of your words back then. When I want something, no one's permission is needed. Nothing could stand between me and my goal. When the prophecy came true, though, I found it unsatisfying. Imagine thinking you are the master of your own fate, only to learn, for better or for worse, everything you are is part of fate's design. It's as if fate chips away at the untamed part of you, turning you from a wolf into a caged rabbit. And you saw it all so easily. Truths as clear as the moonlight, bright, yet distant and cold. If fate one day wills our annihilation, with no way to change it, What then is the role of a priestess? Are they merely fate's mouthpiece, bowing to its will? Or are they pioneers, seeking to shape what's to come? Would you dare, with no direction, no clues, and not a single focus item, gaze upon Septimon's end and trace its cause?
Iuno accepts this proposal. She decided to challenge fate and write her own story instead of following some preordained prophecy. Surely, she has the power to overturn her own destiny. It's not all set in stone and fate is not foretold. Fate is something that Iuno herself can make. All of the visions and prophecies that she has seen, to hell with it. Fate doesn't have the right to choose the path that Iuno will take. Destiny is for us to decide. But all of that is just talk in front of the mighty fate.
Fate unveils itself to the priestess. Following its guidance, she reaches the end again and again, foreseeing its conclusion. Heads fall, whimpers fade. She sees no hero of heroes. Variables added, visions expanded. She sees no hero of heroes. Beyond a doubt, no other choice. She sees no hero of heroes. The priestess is never wrong, but she despises her own truth. For her success is Septimon's defeat. Defeat. Why? Defeat. It's always defeat.
If fate one day wills our annihilation, if we are nothing more than fate's puppets,
when that time comes, what good is a priestess? Septimon will be no more. Nothing will remain. Only she who foresaw every death still lives. Why? Hundreds of days and nights spent in fate's embrace, staring at the end. I tried to see everything, missing nothing, but not once did I see a single future where Septimon still stands. So this is the answer you give me. To know our inevitable doom, and tell the people of Septimon to wait for it, accept it, and even be grateful?
Priestess, what more do you hope to achieve?
Priestess, what more can you do?
Haven't you already seen it all, plain as day?
Haven't you seen it countless times already?
Haven't you already viewed the answer?
Yes, I saw it. A clear, undeniable future. I know. All I need to do is convince myself this is the final answer. But how could I ever accept it? How could I be content? With our very existence being denied like this. Who are you to decide Septimon's fate?
Iuno made her choice to challenge fate, but she stands before an insurmountable monster, a monster that she has to slay with her bare hands. She is powerless in front of this deity with no weapons and no way to fight back. She is lost.
The Lunarum bows have grown strong. You've done well with your anchoring.
Having recovered all of herself, Iuno faced fate itself, but what she left behind was the fully restored Lunarum Bough. The blacksmith, a strange person who existed in the chaos. Perhaps Iuno's mentor, perhaps Iuno's father. It didn't matter. He tells Rover exactly what the Lunarum bow represents.
No. Even if the end is here, unavoidable, I still have the right to refuse. The Lunarum Bough has grown strong. From now on, I need no one's guidance. Because wherever I choose to aim is my true destiny.
I told you. I'd rewrite the ending you changed.
The fortune, the fate, the prophecies, everything that Iuno has seen, every fate that has been preordained, no longer existed.
We've come out of the chaos between life and death, between existence and non-existence. There aren't any guiding traces, no visions of fate's hand. It's just you and me and our own grasp on what's to come. Compared to before, now what we see is... yes, stretching as far as the eye can see, an infinite void.
Having shattered every fortune that Iuno had seen, and replacing it with an infinite amount of possibilities, Iuno's anchoring was complete, and she was completely restored. While Rover and Iuno were currently in the space between the existing and the non-existing, well, Iuno said it bluntly.
Now, it's time to leave this place.
Rover, finally back in the real world and finally saved. Wait, where's Iuno?
Wait. Why is it only me? Where's Iuno?
Surely he didn't do it for nothing. It wasn't all just an impossibility, was it? Had he fought and penetrated the chaos, Gwent, and found Iuno, reforged her being, and pieced Iuno piece by piece back together for her to just still be erased from this world? He had to verify Iuno. Do you know who Iuno is?
Do you know who Iuno is?
Iuno? I don't think I've heard that name before.
Still, no one knew who or where Iuno was. Everyone around happy at the triumph, but Rover, he knew that there was no happiness to be had if Iuno wasn't there with him.
Didn't you tell me we would meet at the very end? Then why can't I find you?
I could hear your voice from a distance. Iuno! Iuno! Wasn't that it? Seems like you're in an awful hurry to find someone. I've run into a few friends since being back. Not one of them recognized me. Guess the memory of the Iuno they once knew is just the price we had to pay. But at least, you still remember me. You pulled me from the chaos and brought me back to existence. That's enough. Oh, I'm certain Augusta and I, along with the rest of them, will be thick as thieves again, this time creating new futures. You really shouldn't underestimate my charm. Oh, yes, and this bracelet. This is the second time I've given this to you. Never mind the first time, but I wouldn't refuse a second time if I were you. Being the second time means there's been a change. Now it's a testament to our secret little interaction. I've anchored the world, and you've anchored me.
And under the moon's faded light, even if the world forgot Iuno, even if no one would remember what she did or how she did it, the sacrifices she made, all of it was erased from the world. But Iuno would know, and Rover as well. And with that, Iuno could at the very least restart from zero. This story was immaculate. I'm going to do a follow-up video regarding my actual thoughts, but I did just want to clarify one thing. I think that what actually happened when Iuno actually separated the Dark Tide in the last quest with Augusta, I think that what she did was just close off every possibility for the future and just erase her existence. Having seen all those possibilities, they're going to happen, but if you erase the current Iuno, then all of those possibilities may not even play out. And since there's a new Iuno here who has unlocked every single possible future and every single possibility, then what she's done is shattered fate itself. And I think that that's honestly a beautiful thing. The fact that there's still the sacrifice that Iuno's previous self is completely gone from this world, I think that's just another very solid touch. This has been VoidEnigma, and if you enjoyed this long video review of the 2.6 second half story, like the video, subscribe to the channel for more content like it, and thank you so much for watching. Enigma out.